schedule release leaks. Again, I'm just going to be a purist here. I've had so many people ask me, have you been looking to see any of the Raiders schedule release leaks? No. Don't tell me when they tell me.
Stubborn.
I know. I am.
This.
But we do get some announcements.
I'm not looking. I just happened to see it. I feel like that's where I was.
That's where we're going to be.
Wow.
I'm going to text him Wednesday night. I happened to notice that the Raiders play. Yeah.
I'm going to pull it up. Like, I'm going to look at it after it's out. I'm going to watch the Raiders video. That's all we're really doing is watching the social media videos. Shout out to those teams for putting those together. Jobs depend on it. Cowboys-Eagles home opener. Are we surprised, Jori, at all that, we knew the Eagles would get the home opener. You surprised they're burning a Cowboys-Eagles game there?
To me, the fact is that they are not trying to give themselves the most competitive game. They're trying to give themselves the best ratings. And so, it's so clear how this decision was made because this is a Cowboys team that's going to have a first-year head coach. They're not going to have Dak Prescott having had any time in a real-life game with George Pickens yet. So clearly, the Cowboys have many reasons why they should be better in the middle of the season, the first week of the season. But they're like, it's okay. It's a divisional game. Cowboys, Eagles. People love that. The Cowboys do ratings. And I think that's what they're going off of. It'll be interesting to see. You've got the Eagles Super Bowl hangover potential, but also they're such a talented team with the Cowboys in a new regime, new head coach, new receiver, trying to get used to that offensive line, which typically offensive lines take a few weeks to get used to the season because of the way that they're able to practice or really not able to practice in the preseason and training camp. So it could get a little bit ugly. If you're a Cowboys fan, you hope it doesn't. If you're an Eagles fan, you probably hope it does. But it should do ratings.
I hated this. I really did. Because this was just the NFL being like, NFC East, everybody loves the NFC East.
No, it's not even that. It's that they want the money of the Cowboys ratings over the competitive game.
In NFL kickoff game history, only 3 times have they made it a divisional game between the defending champion and their opponent. All 3 times were NFC East. Every single time. We just don't love the NFC East this much. But I thought that this was the 5th best matchup maybe the NFL could have given us. I thought the Lions would have been the best matchup, so they weren't going to do that, and I get why. Rams would have been better. If you're going to go with the NFC East infatuation route, give us the Commanders. That would have been
the NFC Championship.
I would have rather seen the Bears play the Eagles on opening night, just because the Bears are new and different, new coach, Caleb Williams, blah, blah, blah. You give us the Cowboys, who got blown out last year, I believe by 25-plus points twice against the Eagles. You look, and like I mentioned the spread before, it's a 7-point spread already. That's going to end up being one of the biggest spreads of week 1. So you're not giving us a good football game. The Cowboys might make it a good football game. I realize betting odds aren't always the be-all, end-all. But you go into this realizing we're not giving you the best football game we can give you, but it's the Cowboys are going to watch. I thought they could have done so much better from a football aspect than just being the lazy, everybody loves the NFC East. I'm surprised they didn't give us the Giants. Come on. The NFL could have done better.
Don't give me any ideas, Frank.
We could have ended up seeing Russell Wilson week 1. I get it could have been worse, but it could have been better.
I love the fact that the last week of the season is always divisional matchups. It makes it exciting. I understand why they do that. It's a great idea by the NFL. I think they should do the exact opposite the first week of the season. Given the fact that there is basically no preseason and starters may or may not play, putting a division game on week 1, when we all know that most teams are not themselves. They're nothing near to what, we're going to spend the first month of the season talking about whether or not we need more preseason because that's what we do every year because the first month looks so sloppy. So now you're taking games that have actual conference and division consequence, and you're putting it in week 1 when these will be bastardized versions of both of these teams. It's just, to Jori's point, it's going to be the Cowboys will look so different by week 6 than they do in week 1. Burning a game that has that much impact just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I wish the NFL would simply week 1 make sure that all of the matchups are non-traditional matchups. Give me 2 teams that don't usually play each other week 1 out of the gates. In fact, I would love it if every single game in week 1 was AFC versus NFC, so it doesn't even impact your conference standings to playoff tiebreakers. Let everybody get the rust off, let everybody get their feet wet, but do it in a way that doesn't actually impact the playoffs.
I'm also fine if it were to be some sort of playoff team expectation rematch, because again, last year we started the season with the Chiefs versus the Ravens, and that was the crazy game where at the end of the game, it came down to the wire. And I think that was something where they had played in the AFC Championship game. They made it super close again. And I feel like that set the tone of we could see this again come playoffs. And then the year before that, you have the Chiefs versus the Lions, and the Lions weren't in a playoff game, but it was pretty clear they were an up-and-coming team based off the way they'd ended the prior season, knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. And oh, by the way, Chris Jones wasn't playing, so the Lions end up upsetting the Chiefs. Like, to me, those types of games, they weren't division matchups, but they were playoff caliber matchups. And I think that that's what you should do, non-division playoff teams.
Yeah, Rams-Eagles made the most sense, and they didn't want to do it because of the NFC East thing. Can I, piggybacking off your point, Fitz, I do have something that just bothers me, and it bothers me every year, and it's probably because I'm a little bit OCD, but the fact that they're playing Chiefs-Chargers in Brazil, that's another one of the games that's been leaked out. That's going to be the Friday game, week 1. Okay, the Chargers should come into the season with realistic expectation of we can compete with the Chiefs for the division title. The NFL has messed with that ecosystem by making it Chiefs-Chargers neutral site instead of a Chargers home game. What's the beauty of divisional football? You get them at your place, you got to go play at their place. 1-1. The rest of the schedule's not balanced, I get that, but you get that. Now, you are making it where the Chiefs are getting a home game and the Chargers are not against the Chiefs. I don't like that. I think that is unfair to the Chargers, even though the Chargers signed up for this. I get that. But that's why I don't like international games. It messes with the schedule. And they should not be divisional games in any way, shape, or form, because now the Chargers go into the season already at a disadvantage trying to chase the Chiefs for the AFC West. They do not get the Chiefs in their home. Now, yes, they could win that game in Brazil, and you can say, oh, you got to take care of your business, whatever. But the fact is, the NFL made it an unbalanced schedule for the Chargers and gave the Chiefs an advantage. We're all about the Chiefs are getting rigged, blah, blah, blah. I just don't like that. That's why I don't like international games. I'll say this forever. Like I think the international games messes with the schedule. Now, when you got 17 games, it's different because
More
it's
on the
8
way.
home, 8 away. Oh, it's going to be a ton. 8 away, 8 at home, 1 international. Fine, whatever. But when it's a divisional game, no, I don't like that at all. I think it was it's just bad for the NFL to have Chiefs Chargers. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a good game, entertaining game. I'll watch. But I think it was bad for the NFL to make that an international game and give the Chiefs an advantage they shouldn't be having.
Yeah, this is no longer the Jags situation, and I want to stress that with these international games. Like, the Jags became sort of the joke of the international series because nobody went to see Jacksonville games. You've got real teams that are in their Super Bowl window losing home playoff or home games. Like, to me, that is just like if I'm a Vikings fan, I want home games. If I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, I want every single home game I can get for a team that won 14 games last year. To your point, Frank, if I'm a Chargers fan, like, I want home games. Like, this is the moment.
A home game against the Chiefs. Like, that's your biggest game of the year. Literally, your biggest game of the year is the home game against the Chiefs, and you gave it away.
Like, Dolphins Commanders in Spain. Like, if I'm a Commanders fan, I've waited forever for my team to be really good, and now you're going to move a game over to Spain? Like, it's such a slap in the face to everything that happens for fans that wait for the opportunity. I can only imagine if you're a Browns fan and this turns out to be a magical year and suddenly your team opens up undefeated and Shadur's lighting it up. And then it's like, great, now we lose a home game to London? Like, that's just the chances that they take in this process that I think is so unfair to the fans that get kicked in the no-no places year in and year out for their fandom. And this is the reward they get. Now you get to travel internationally to try and watch your favorite team. It's just, I cannot say it enough. I think the international series robs fans and it sucks because of it.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse because the NFL has approved going up from 4 international games in addition to the standing Jacksonville game at Wembley to 8 international games in addition to the standing game at Wembley. And so we're only going to increase that slate. And their goal, I believe, is to have every single team play an international game every year. I mean, we have the Vikings playing 2 international games back-to-back this year. So,
that's nuts.
I mean, some of this stuff is crazy.
Wow.
I feel like that's Woody Johnson being like, after you embarrassed me abroad with the Vikings beating us, you have to make them play 2 games abroad.
I think that's
and
a
that's
disadvantage
also
of the
weird
Vikings,
for the guys.
too. The Vikings are
Yeah, I
coming off
didn't even know that a
14-win
team could
season.
play 2 abroad games.
You play 2
but I guess
games and 2. Like, I get it's not crazy travel, but you're making the Vikings go 2 weeks abroad in different countries. You don't think that takes a little bit out of you? And this is a team that won 14 games last year and should come back and feel like we could take the next step and win a Super Bowl. And now, like that, I think that's going to mess with their season for a little bit. That's going to tire them out. Like this is, you're spending 2 weeks in Europe. Like I just again these kind of things, and it's probably my schedule nerddom and OCD and all that. But I'm like, this is not fair to 1 out of the 32 teams. None of the other teams are dealing with this. Why are the Vikings dealing with this?
Well, Frank, I always come back to what happened when I was at the league meetings in New York a couple of years ago, and Jim Irsay, the Indianapolis Colts team owner, was talking about how he believes there should be 2 NFL commissioners, a commissioner of football and a commissioner of business. And while I understand the premise that Jim was saying is the idea of there's so many business considerations now that to have someone in charge of both is just too much. The reason I don't think it will work is because business is always going to win out. So it would be a real commissioner and a shadow commissioner, or not even a shadow commissioner, just like a lame duck commissioner, essentially, because we know that the NFL always picks the business, the money. Is it better for the league to have 18 games given the health standpoint? There's a strong argument not. Is it better for the quality of the football played for them to play abroad? Absolutely not. But are they going to make more money and try and globalize the game? Yes. So that's what they're going to continue to make decisions on the basis of. And look, it is an entertainment industry and they are business, and Roger Goodell and the league's job, I mean, they answer to the team owners, and the team owners want them to make as much money as possible. And if they do that and Roger Goodell takes a couple like PR bullets, the owners will continue to let him do his job. And he is really good at making the league money. I mean, I think for all the people who don't like Roger Goodell, if you are going to tell me that he has not had success on the financial element, which is his number one job responsibility, I would disagree with you. But I think we're going to continue to see these things that you're going to say, that's not really in the best interest of us getting the best football game. That's not really the best interest of the Chargers fans getting to see the Chiefs come play. And oh, by the way, if we get an international team, which I believe the NFL is interested in, I don't think that's coming tomorrow. But if you get a team in London full time, I think the Super Bowl's heading abroad.
I also... So I'll go back to the Vikings portion of this. 2 weeks in London and Dublin, and I can hear people already just saying, "Oh my God, like you're getting paid to be in London and Dublin for 2 weeks. Like, what are you complaining about? That's a dream come true." The hardest time of my life when I was touring in music, the absolute time that broke me from ever wanting to tour again, was 6 weeks in Europe. And the funny thing is, most people would look at it and say, "Oh my God, you got to spend 6 weeks in Europe. This is going to be a dream situation." Well, when you're working nonstop, when you're actually like, when you have responsibilities every day above and beyond, like you're not just over there sightseeing, when also you can't bring all of your friends and family over with you because A, there's not room, B, there's not money, B, there's not time. You can't do all of these things. And then even if you do, you feel this intrinsic pressure while you're doing things, like you're at work doing what you have to do to get ready for a show. And then all of your family's like, well, why can't you go sightseeing? We want to go see, like, all of these things. So when people sit down and say, "Oh my God, what a great vacation," I will tell you, just from my personal experience, every single man and woman that I was on tour with at the end of our 6 weeks in Europe was ready to never set a foot on a tour bus again. That's broke all of us. And so, like, I just think this concept that it's a vacation for players, like, the players get screwed in this too, because that is their ultimate time to make money and do their jobs, and none of this is a vacation for them.
I agree with that. Can I U-turn this? I want to ask you a question, Fitz, because just because you're more in the college realm than either me or Jori. I found one of the schedule things that was fascinating was on December 20th, they're having a Fox doubleheader. It's going to be Eagles at Commanders, Packers at Bears. 2 great games. Like, I think those are going to be really, really fun games. But they go right up against a college football playoff quarterfinals. What do you think? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't like speaking on a college game that much because I'm not as invested into it as you are. That just seems to be like a shot across the bow. Like, hey, we're the NFL. We don't care if you have your playoff going on. We're going to outrate you anyway. Put on Boise State in a quarterfinal again and see what happens. I thought that this was a very strategic, intentional move by the NFL to schedule a big-time doubleheader right up against a college football playoff.
Yeah, it was 100%. And look, they did last year. They scheduled against first-round games, and everybody said, "Oh man, well the NFL cedes to no one. They will step back for nobody." This is even bigger. I mean, to put those games where they're putting them, they're truly, the NFL is the NFL is truly looking at college football and they're saying up yours. Like, this is that moment where it's like, for all the times that people say the NFL and college football need to work together more to be a better system for athletes and players and all these rules that they want changed. Well, just this is the great notification to the world that the NFL does not work with college football in any way, shape, or form. The NFL simply uses college football as their free minor league system. They use it as their free promotion system for kids coming into the draft. But when it comes down to it, the NFL, I just believe this era of the NFL is as much about making a statement of dominance as anything, and that's what they're doing. They've taken over Christmas Day, so they've said up yours to the NBA, which is their right, that's fine, and they're doing the same thing. Those first-round playoff games this year won't have the same level of attention as they did last year because it's not new for college football. They're going to get hammered in the ratings again, and the NFL is just going to sit back like Scrooge McDuck, counting their cash and laying in the bed. So they can do it, and they can get away with it. But Frank, I think you're right. It is an absolute shot to college football, and it's just a reminder that they do what they want, when they want, how they want.
Well, I think also I want to remind everybody that the last time the Chiefs and Chargers were scheduled to play an abroad game in 2018 in Mexico City, or abroad being on another country, the game was canceled because of the quality of the field. And so I think we have to be aware of, like, I don't think the Brazil fields were particularly high quality last year.
I remember a lot of people slipping around, right? Packers, Eagles, right? It was bad field conditions.
A pretty bad look if for the second straight time the Chargers and Chiefs promise these abroad fans a game and aren't able to deliver. So it kind of goes both ways. On one hand, you have the Chargers and Chiefs fans who want to see the game domestically and now would have to travel. And on the other hand, last time they tried to play this game, a concert wrecked the field. So I hope that they are more intentional about the steps they take for that field.
Well, there's nothing we can do about the international games. They will simply continue to rise and repeat while we retreat.